All right, so today we're going to be doing gluten-free, dairy-free, everyone's favorite words, lasagna. I promise it's not gross. It actually tastes good. Caveat here, little sidebar. Just because something is gluten-free and dairy-free doesn't mean that it's healthy, right? I'm going to be teaching you 2 ways today to go about making this, quick and easy lasagna. One of them is not quick and easy, so maybe I shouldn't name it that. And one of them is really simple, but just because those lasagna noodles say gluten-free doesn't make them healthful, right? They've got corn flour and rice starch and they're really high carb. But we are looking for alternatives for people that have gluten intolerances or allergies, and the same with dairy, right? And we can add in some nutritional, kind of bada bing, bada boom bonuses when we avoid dairy and look for more creative options. So let's get at it. To start with, you need a couple pounds of meat product, right? Grass-fed beef is a great choice. Natural sausage is a fine choice. Sage turkey sausage, there's a great recipe I'll give you guys, a homemade version of that. That's fantastic and flavorful. I'm just using grass-fed beef because it's what I've got in my freezer. So about 2 pounds depending on the size you're making. I'm gonna make a little bit smaller than the 9x13 because I'm gonna tell you the truth. All my other pans are dirty. So typically I would make a larger version of this and I'd use closer to 3 pounds. So I have a little bit bigger of a 9x13, like bigger than 9x13. But we're gonna skip that for now. I always add, when I'm cooking meat, I usually double it and I add onion and garlic, right? These are my staples. If I'm going to cook beef, like brown some beef, I'm going to cook twice as much as I need, because then in 5 days or so, when we've got a busy night, I'm gonna make clean, we call them sloppy joes, with that browned hamburger with onion and garlic already in it, or add some taco seasoning, and we're gonna have last minute tacos or taco salads. And that's gonna make my life as a busy mom a lot easier. So that's your tip for today. Always add a little bit of salt and pepper, especially colored salt, as you brown your meat. Whatever meat you choose, make it yummy. Then we're going to, you know how lasagna goes, right? It's like layered. So it's like sauce and then stuff and then stuff and then stuff. For my sauce, I typically do like it's just an organic tomato sauce. Look for ones that have no sugar added, plain Jane. I add some Italian seasoning, a little bit of salt to that sometimes, but I'm gonna do the cheater thing this time and just use organic marinara sauce from Kirkland, Costco. It has no junk added to it. It has seasonings, not weird ones like artificial seasonings or nitrates or gross things like that, and tomatoes and some onions and a little bit of organic olive oil already in there. So done and done. That made my life easier. I am going to do my quick and easy version, which is going to include lasagna noodles that are gluten-free. But my favorite way to make this is to use giant zucchinis from my garden. And when they get this big, and you're like, or bigger, I have had some that like this big, and you don't know what to do with them, make zucchini bread. I'll send you guys my gluten-free zucchini bread, which is delicious. Or make lasagna. So you would cut this into even strips, just like a lasagna noodle would look, and then we would baste them with a little bit of egg and almond flour and bake them at high heat for a minute to kind of get the moisture out and help them to get the right texture. This is one of the few zoodly type things that I actually like. I don't like zoodles. Some people think they're great. The texture weirds me out. My kids will never go for it. Some people love them, and that's cool. But this is one I can get away with, is the gluten-free zoodle version of a lasagna noodle. So I'll give you guys the tips for that. Since we're doing dairy-free, the trickiest part is always the cheesy bit. So we're actually gonna use organic tofu, and we're gonna press it to get all of the moisture out. And I went for firm already, so the firmer the better. And we're gonna press to get the moisture out, and then we're gonna sprinkle it with, you don't really sprinkle, we're gonna spritz it with lemon juice to help the acid, and then we're going to sprinkle, this is the sprinkle part, with nutritional yeast, and that's our cheesy bit. I use nutritional yeast in moderation. I think a lot of microbiome issues and exposures in general, and imbalances, I guess, our yeasty problems that we've got going on. Those sugar bugs, right? They love the yeast. Those big cravings for carbohydrates that, you know, people are like warm bread out of the oven is my crack. I can help you with that. That's your microbiome, that's the bugs. But that's how we're gonna get our cheesy layer, is we're gonna make a fake cheese, and it's really creamy and delicious. People freak out about soy. I literally went back to grad school and got a master's degree because I wanted to learn about all of these things. Here's the deal with soy, especially in moderation. Organic, non-GMO soy is health beneficial. There's not going to give you cancer. We do want to be careful with hormone imbalance, but really what we're looking for is those GMO soy products or soy additions to all of our processed foods have got soy, right, in them, and those little pieces there. So I won't get deep into the soy conundrum, but we are going to use organic firm tofu. I'm not talking soy dogs. I'm not talking soy sausage here. We're using straight up plain old organic firm tofu, non-GMO. We're gonna add some junk to it and some creamy and delicious. Okay, that's basically all the directions. It's really not that tricky. I'm gonna make you guys a little montage video of how I'm putting it together. It's gonna take me 6 minutes, and then we're gonna bake it. Well, actually we're gonna put it in the fridge and then bake it later when I actually have time in between chiropractor and football practice. But all right, if you have questions, let me know. Have a great day. She is a thing of beauty. You can easily end with just noodle and sauce layer on the top, or zoodle and sauce layer on the top, but I had some extra, so I dumped it on the top, and it's gonna be fine. We're gonna cover with something to make sure that the top doesn't brown too quickly. And if you are not anti-cheese, you're welcome to put some mozzarella cheese on there, but since we kind of made it gluten free already, I mean, do you really need to? A nice little hack is to chop up some spinach and add that in between the layers, which I totally would have done today if I had any. The flavor just kind of melts away, and you've added some nice greens in there. Or to dice some zucchini and saute along with your hamburger mix. So those are a few fun add-ins that you can do to add some nutrient density. Otherwise, we're gonna bake this sucker, and Bob's your uncle. Dinner.